Now you need to talk slowly so that I can jot a few things down, eh? You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So if anyone wants to join us, they can click the StreamYard link. Yeah. If anyone's got anything to add, they can add to the StreamYard link. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So introduce yourself, Nikki.
Hi, my name is Nikki Edwards, and yeah. How do you want me to introduce myself, David? Like with what I do?
Why are we here on a Saturday afternoon?
I'm here on a Saturday afternoon because I need to do to gather some information as I am doing a paper on recovery coaching methodology and the impact that it has on society and how it can effectively how it can be used to support people looking for recovery or support people who are, you know, in substance abuse, having difficulty with their substance abuse and their using and their mental health issues, etc. So I've got to write a paper on how I positively impact my communities and society with the work that I do, which is specializing in substance abuse and addictive behavior disorders, as well as the organization that I work for and what we do, what solutions we have to offer, you know, in curbing the crisis, I guess, and the epidemic in our society. And what are the frustrations around that too.
Right, well, that was about as exciting as watching paint dry. Okay. So what you're doing is you've gone to UCT, the University of Cape Town, and you're doing a course. What's your course called?
It's a postgraduate diploma in addiction care.
A postgraduate diploma in addiction care. So postgraduate means after graduation in addiction care. And the purpose of that is once people have been to university, that they can improve the quality of addiction care, which is impacting our society. And your first assignment is to do a paper on an organization that is working in addiction care. And that's what this stream's about. Yeah. So we're using technology and we're streaming to a whole lot of channels, and people are being invited to this conversation to find out, to gather information, to gather research, so that we can do a better job in addressing the addiction crisis or pandemic, which was really born in the States through the opioid crisis. And so that's what we're doing. So I'm here to have a conversation with you about that. We're also recording this and streaming it. So if there's anyone that wants to come and join the conversation, they're welcome to. And the point is you're doing a research piece to go and research and gather information so that can be dispensed and shared out into the world so that we can do a better job for mankind. That's what a university is about. People go to university to learn shit so they can go out into the world.
Okay? Yeah.
Great. Cool. How's that? Is that a good summary? Good.
That's beautiful. But specifically, my focus is around the recovery coaching methodology and what it can do and how it can bring, solutions to
okay, great. Your specific focus that you're focusing in on is the skill of the recovery coach. Yeah?
Yes.
and how the skill of the recovery coach, let's see if I can get that in there. The recovery coach can improve treatment outcomes.
Yes.
Good. Okay, great. All right, so tell us about your course.
The peer recovery specialist training.
Well, no, tell us about this course you're doing at UCT.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I've just started. This is a whole new, very daunting experience for me because I don't even have a flipping standard 5. So, you know, I've been in the addiction field for many years and have my own lived experience. So I'm looking to expand my knowledge and to also try and kind of bridge the gap between the academics and the lived experience people, because I believe that we should all get together and we all can add value in trying to curb the problem. And you know, we can all look for solutions. So you know, the course itself is quite daunting because it's very academic and there's a lot of things and a lot of research that needs to be done. I'm kind of enjoying it, but at the same time, I'm very overwhelmed, you know.
Okay, great. So through traditional education, yeah, you have a standard 5, yeah, a grade 7, and then you left school, yeah. And the normal path is people go through school and they go to university and they do various courses and then they do a PhD and become doctors and all that, yeah. So what you're doing is based on your lived experience here. You're now entering university here, having missed all that.
Yeah.
Okay, and that feels overwhelming.
I just did it in a different way.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. But so that feels overwhelming. Okay. Cool. So let me help you with the overwhelm. Yeah. Well done, Nikki. I'm so proud of you and so happy that you. There you go. Look.
Oh, Gwen. Thanks,
Read
Gwen.
it out.
Okay.
Read it out.
I'm so proud of you and so happy that that you've enrolled in this course. You're going to excel. Don't be intimidated by academic noise. You know more than anyone else in that university about addiction and how to heal it. Thanks,
Correct.
Gwen.
All right. Cool. So that talks about your lived experience. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so I'm just going to put lived experience there. So you've got a whole lot of stuff that the academic world doesn't have.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, and thank God. Well, they might have it, they might not. That's not, we're not there to criticize them. Okay. Right, so let's go back to the recovery coaching modality. All right. So what's the requirement of your first paper?
Well, I've got to answer like 3 questions, and I've got to put it all in a minimum of 2,000 words. And I love writing, but I'm tripping myself up because I'm getting all like freaked out about the academic side of things. Whereas normally when I write, it's very kind of flowing and, you know, but now.
What's the first question?
The first question is, consider the positives within yourself, your organization, and work environment that enable you to work effectively with clients who abuse substances.
Great. Okay, so read that again. Read the question again.
Consider the positives within yourself.
Okay, whoa. Okay, hang on. Consider the positives. What does that mean? That means think about the positives. Think about the good things. Okay, so they want you to think about the good things. Carry on with the question.
the good things about within myself, within the organization and work environment that enables me to work effectively with clients who abuse substances.
Okay, great. So think about, yourself. Yeah. So think internally and how that might help yourself and your organization. That's what the question is. Okay. So just read the whole thing one more time just so I can really understand what the question is.
Consider the positives within myself, my organization, and work environment that enable me to work effectively with clients who abuse substances.
Okay, so here's the client. Yep, and here's the client that's got the diagnosis of substance use disorder. Yeah. Right. The first thing is they shouldn't be using the word abuse because abuse it adds to the stigma of it, and the word abuse in Europe isn't being used anymore because it's now people that are using a substance. If they're considered to be abusing it, there's a negative connotation to it. Yeah. So there's a lens that's looking at it, saying these are people that are being marginalized, but we'll go into that another time. All right. So what they want you to do is think about the positives, within yourself, within your organization, that is going to help you with your client.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, what's glaringly obvious here?
What's glaringly obvious? Well, it's the relationship between me and my clients.
Yeah, but what's glaringly obvious? You've got lived experience.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes. That's correct. Yes.
All right. Okay. So what lived experience have you got? Let's just look at that. All right. So first of all, you're a female, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you used drugs.
Yes.
Yeah. You used legal drugs and illegal drugs. Have you got a criminal record?
No.
No.
Thank God.
Okay.
Close.
Okay. All right. But you've been to jail.
Yes.
All right. So you know what that process is like of getting arrested and being locked up. And all right, cool. So I'm just going to put their jail time.
Okay.
Yeah. Or antisocial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got a diagnosis?
Yeah, well, many, but not officially, if that makes sense. Well, I didn't even know if it's official, but yeah, I've had many psychiatrists diagnose me with many things. But yeah, I mean, more so borderline personality disorder, I think fits the box, if you want me to put it in there.
BPD. So you've been labeled, by the psychiatric world as having borderline personality. And you're a mother.
ADHD, ADD, yeah.
Okay, ADHD.
Remedial flipping issues,
learning disabilities. All right, cool. Wow. Okay, is 2,000 words going to be enough?
I don't know.
Okay, here comes another one. Read this question.
You know their fears, their doubts, their confusion, and their chaos. Most of all, you know the point at which they achieve breakthrough and begin to recover. You have intimate lived experience of working with people in crisis and what they need. And for the purposes of your course, you know the system around them and the way it sidesteps and outsources them. Nice, Gwen.
Okay,
Lovely.
read it again. Read it again.
You know their fears, their doubts, their confusions, and their chaos. Most of all, you know the point of which they achieve breakthrough and begin to recover. You have intimate lived experience of working with people in crisis and what they need. And for the purposes of your course, you know the system around them and the way it sidesteps and outsources them.
Great. So what's Gwen saying here? She's saying, you know, let's use a different color here. Yeah? Your experience, everything in blue, yeah, you can bring to the relationship. Yeah? And you'll be able to make a judgment around your client and their lived experience. And this is where the coaching relationship happens.
Okay.
In the blue. Yeah. So what you're doing is you have the ability to build what with your client?
Rapport.
And what does rapport mean?
It means trust, compassion, empathy, understanding. Building rapport means creating a relationship, a safe and, a relationship built on trust and safety and empathy and compassion, I think.
Okay, isn't that what every therapist's job is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, what are the advantages of your lived experience working with your clients?
Well, the advantages is that I get it. Fuck, I get it. I understand. I understand how isolated and stigmatized one can feel, and I understand the pain and just the longing and the desperation of it all. Yeah.
What are you feeling in your body right now?
Sadness when I think of that.
All right. Okay.
Just took me straight back to the past there.
Okay. There we go. That's a sigh. That's a trauma release. It's so as you were talking, as a byline for the organization, I stole, we get it. Yeah. So there's something about the people with lived experience in peer recovery specialists is we get it.
Yeah.
And just in that sigh and that relief of yours is there was a trauma release. It's like, oh, fuck. Okay, somebody understands.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be judged. I'm not going to be shamed. I'm not going to be ostracized. I'm not going to be jailed. My kids aren't going to be taken away. I'm going to be fucking treated like a human.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's at least a thesis.
Yes.
Yeah. Just that alone. Okay, so you
Yeah.
got to come up with 2,000 words.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean that. Yeah, and then we carry on to the second and third question.
Great. Cool. Okay. So how's your fear?
Well, I mean, I'm feeling pretty safe right now because I'm in a container with you, and that's that keeps me grounded. Um, yeah, and I understand this very well. It's putting it into contexts, so into a writing format, because I can go on and on very deep, and I can go into my own experience, but I'm not sure if that's what they want.
Great. Cool. So I'm going to tell you what I want as being somebody who runs this organization is that's not what we want.
Mm.
We want you to be able to contain all that stuff and only bring it out when it's in support of your client. This
Yeah.
isn't the Nikki Edwards show. This is, hi, my name's Nikki. Yeah, I've got a postgraduate degree in addiction care. How can I help you?
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Okay, what's
Yes.
the second question?
Second question is, consider the challenges within the broader environment and your organization that frustrates your efforts at providing effective treatment for patients with substance use disorders. As far as possible, use research to back up your arguments.
Great. All right, so where should we go?
Oh gosh, I mean, I've got lots of frustrations.
Okay,
Not
so
required.
let's just go with the question again. Consider. So
Consider
think about.
the
Okay,
challenges within the broader environment.
broader. Okay, so
Yeah.
here's the broader environment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what are the challenges?
Oh, well, I mean, in South Africa, just alone, we have major, major issues. We've got zero health infrastructure. We've got no funding. The government couldn't, well, I mean, I don't know if they couldn't care, but I guess they just can't afford to, assist in that way, which means that we cannot progress, in changing the drug policies and all of that in South Africa. It's going to be a lot harder for us because we're still a third world country. People are saying, well, what about, why can't we use the Portugal model and all of that? Well, the reality is we just can't, because we don't have the infrastructure, the health infrastructure, the money, the power. Most of the people are poorly trained, overworked, underpaid. We have, poverty. We have huge past traumatic issues that need to be addressed. Oh, it can go on and on. I mean, the psychosocial, the biopsychosocial, systemic issues are so huge in South Africa that it's just like, can be quite overwhelming. That's my view, and how to tackle that.
How many languages have we got here?
11.
12, including sign language.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep, so there's a language barrier. All right, here we go. Here's another one from Gwen.
And the competitors of the hashtag brigade abducting and appropriating everything and making it all about them. Yeah. Oh yeah, Gwen. And let's go that side too. Besides the flippin', systemic country issues, we've also got issues within the industry itself. Yeah.
Okay. Say
Gosh.
more about that.
Oh no, I mean, the way that the treatments industry is going, the way the how it's turned into a flippin' money making machine and exploiting vulnerable people. And I mean, it's a really good business model, but it's not, we're not getting to the people who really need it, and we're not addressing the real issues. It's become a money making business, and unfortunately a lot of people cannot afford the treatment, the adequate treatment needed to recover, as well as it's not treatments and assistance is not getting to the rural and poverty stricken areas in where it's most needed, I think.
Okay, summarize that, and you've muted.
I know, I just had to see what was going on in the background. Summarize it. I believe in multiple pathways to recovery. And unfortunately, even though it's actually people are starting to wake up and realize that the old, or should I say, the current sort of treatment models in our society have been very narrow-minded and my way or the highway. And it has been very secluded and kind of specialized, if that makes sense. Like the treatment world doesn't talk to the flippant social workers and the, social development, etc. And, the counselors are left in the dark. And I mean, oh God, I wouldn't know how to start summarizing that.
Okay, so let me help you. Okay, so outside of people, the general public, we have lack of funding, or people that are doing it for profit. We have draconian law. We have lack of infrastructure. We have poor training. We have past trauma that hasn't been dealt with. So people are kind of self-medicating in a big alcohol culture. And we have 12 different languages. Yeah. So it's very difficult for you with lived experience to go and build rapport with somebody because of those outside influences. Okay?
Yeah.
People working inside the industry, are siloed. Yeah. How do you spell siloed?
SILO.
ED. Okay, which means that people aren't talking to each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so people get pushed from pillar to post. Okay, there's infighting amongst professionals.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So you said even though there are multiple pathways to recovery, the old historical legacy way of doing things still has huge influence.
Yeah.
So, for example, the war on drugs and punishing people, and the moral efficacy, is that the right word, of stigmatization around addiction is, and then you have within a minute or two of talking about addiction, someone stands up and turns it into a discussion about gender-based violence or politics. So other people to come in and make it about their issue. Yep. So we have infighting amongst funders.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, let's see what this one says. Sorry, I gate crashed this. I'm going back to work. Go, Nikki. You're going to do brilliantly. Much love. Thank you. Gwen, we love having you here. All right. Okay. So there's disagreement amongst the professionals. There's infighting. There's, yeah.
Well, there's no communication. Everybody wants, everybody's worried that the business is going to get taken away. There's huge competition between them, and there's no sharing of information and the epidemic is so huge. I just don't get it. I don't get the need to flip and I don't know. Huh? I am. Yeah.
So we're doing Nikki's research. Okay, cool. So what's the third question?
Third question is, think of possible solutions or strategies that allow you to start addressing the challenges identified above, supported by current research.
Okay, say that again.
Think of possible solutions or strategies that allow you to start addressing the challenges identified from above. Map out the first few steps you and your organization could take.
Okay. So what are they saying here? What's the first word?
Think of possible solutions.
Think. Don't consider. Think. So now what they're asking is, think about what?
Possible solutions possible solutions and strategies that we can start addressing. Map out the first few steps.
Okay. So what crisis have we dealt with well here in South Africa?
That UAC is addressing.
No. Think about possible strategies.
Okay, so we're currently in the COVID crisis.
COVID. Yeah?
Yeah.
What else?
Well, we're currently in a huge epidemic of, substance abuse and addictive behavior disorders. Addiction.
Yeah, no, that's a problem. But now we're thinking about strategies that have worked. So what they're looking for is, where has there been solutions before that you can implement? Okay, so this is where they say, think about things like Portugal, think about America, and the addiction crisis, the Surgeon General's report. Think about what they're doing in Sweden. Think about the World Health Organization. Yeah. Think about what they're doing in New Zealand. Think about the way first world countries are doing this. Think about how epidemiology. Okay, epidemiology is another fancy word for people to, like, when there's a pandemic, what do you do to fix it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
That word comes up a lot.
Huh?
That word comes up a lot.
Yeah, I know. The whole thing around academia, I found, was that the use of big words to make very simple things complicated.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But anyway, that's another subject. All right, so read the question again.
Think of possible solutions or strategies that allow you to start addressing the challenges identified.
Okay, solutions or strategies.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some of the strategies?
Well, I mean, in my view, we can't really look at Portugal and stuff because they're first world and they've got they've got the money. When I look at South Africa, I mean, I'm more inclined to say, look, recovery coaching is here. We peer recovery specialists are here. We are assisting and training our people to go out into their communities and assist other people in their own language. Yeah. And we like working it like that.
Okay, Nikki,
Mm,
you're talking shit.
okay.
We've got lots of money for this.
Okay.
For each 100 rand that gets spent on a bottle of wine, 40% goes to the tax man.
Yeah.
That money isn't being spent
Yeah.
on coming up with solutions.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. So it's not a money issue. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to say you're talking shit in a shaming way.
It's fine.
But I wanted to say it in a way because it pisses me off. It's my own bias coming in because what there is there's lack of political will. There's lack of like it's one of those, well, it's not on my doorstep problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So harm reduction is a strategy. Yeah. Prevention. Treatment. Education.
Yeah.
What else?
Empowerment.
Empowerment. Okay. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, to get people to take personal responsibility, for themselves. I mean, that's what I'm all about. So, we could go around blaming, like you say, the country and the world and the economic crisis and corruption and COVID and all of that. It's very easy to sit and blame everybody for that kind of, stuff. But the reality of the situation, it all comes from you and me and, how I am able to take responsibility.
Mutual aid groups.
But this is all that, this has been done. This has been done for years.
Really?
But there's still solutions, I guess.
It's not doing so read the question again.
Think of possible solutions or strategies that allow you to start addressing the challenges identified as above, supported by evidence from current research. Yeah. So okay, I get it. All of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say, but this has all been done already, great. Now you need the evidence from this. So now you need the research.
Yeah.
And the reason you have the research is for what?
Well, for evidence,
There we go, for evidence. For who?
I guess for the public,
For the funders.
for the funders. Okay.
If I give you this money, how am I going to know that it's going to be spent well? All right.
Okay, I get that. Yeah.
All right. So here's my challenge. This is a fuck up. This is where all the academics fight amongst themselves.
Mm.
Because the way that people get funding is they get funding for research. Yeah, they look for research grants so they can provide the evidence, so they can come up with policies and advocate for the good spending of money. So who's a professional? Now you're coming from the other side. You're coming from someone with lived experience. Yeah. And then this world is saying, who the fuck is she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And what we've learned from this world is when funding comes from, say, from America to help Africa, Africa goes, well, what the fuck are you coming and giving us funding for? You come and rape our country, you steal our resources, and then you give us back funding in terms of, of aid. That is not working for us. So then there's a rejection. Yeah. And I promise you, the drug addicts get left right at the bottom. Okay.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we know that from the HIV crisis. We know that from the way that our education system, the kind of the Oxford westernized education system, prevention is a difficult one because, for example, something like marijuana was a traditional herb, and a lot of these medicines have been around for years and years and years. And the war on drugs, which started historically in 1914 under, I think it was the Harrison Act or something, that's where these kind of problems started in terms of racism and so it really gets complicated.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
how are you feeling?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling okay. I mean, I get the whole thing, and I've just got a lot of reading to do.
All right. So the reading, the shortcut is, the Surgeon General's report, of the addiction.
I read that last night.
Yeah, the addiction crisis in America. Yeah. So this is where you're going to get your research from.
Yeah.
The Surgeon General's report, which came out under the Obama administration. Yeah. In there's a whole lot of academic research. And there's a whole lot of stuff there that you can reference back to and say blah, 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 which kind of ticks the box that you've done your research around this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't think recovery coaching is a solution?
Of course, recovery coaching is a solution. We've got the evidence for it. We've got the evidence for it.
Okay.
We've got all the research. We've recorded all the classes. We've got a whole lot of people with lived experience. We've built the school. Yeah.
So couldn't I put that as part of the, as the solution and the strategy?
Fuck,
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I certainly hope so. Yeah.
Well,
And then maybe somebody will give us some funding.
Because it says here, map out the first few steps your organization could take in addressing these challenges.
All right. So the first few steps we did is, first of all, you've got this, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing we did is we became a public benefit organization. Yeah. Section 18A. Yeah. So that's the first step. So that means that basically corporates can make tax deductible donations to us to start to address this. Yes. And we focus on education. Yeah. And the education we've created, is SACWA accredited as well as ISO compliant. Yeah. So people then say, yeah, but what's your education? Is it compliant? Is it blah, blah, blah? Okay. All right. Then we've empowered students. Yeah. And we've empowered students by using Google MPO. Yeah. Facebook. MPO, Facebook for Good, and we've started to use technology to bring students together to create a learning environment. Yeah. The reason we use Google and Facebook and Microsoft, is because people know how to use that technology. Yeah. And that means once people are educated in those kind of resources, they can then go into a facility and provide treatment.
Yeah.
Because they've got the right skill set.
Okay. Great. Cool. So those are the steps that we've taken. And then we empower students, we train them, and then, we treat them as well. So.
Well, let's go back to you, Nikki. So here's someone that left the education system without even going to high school and is now doing a postgraduate at a university, around this problem. And if that's not fucking evidence, then people can go fuck themselves. I get so angry.
I know.
Oh, and by the way, if people say around the research, what research methodology are you using? Yeah, your answer is we're using action-based research methodology, which is the best methodology to use with developing communities. Yeah, as opposed to they'll use things like, is it phenomenological? I can't even say half the word. Is it epidemiology? Is it all those fancy words? You just say it's action-based research. The evidence proves that is the best research methodology when trying something new in developing communities. And to summarize that, it basically means you make it up as you go along. And when you make a mistake, you adjust accordingly.
Yeah. Great.
And where's your evidence? Well, we've got 6 years of recorded evidence of this stuff. On top of the 20 years of running a treatment center, but
Yeah. Good.
okay, how was that lecture?
That was awesome, David. Thank you.
How
I've
are you?
got a lot more clarity because I tend to go off on a tangent. So I now know, like, what I need to focus on and the structure of it. So, because I was thinking all kinds of other things, but I got to stick with the evidence, obviously.
Okay. All right. Well, I think you're very, very, very brave to go to university. I think you're very brave to go back to that.
Very, very stupid. One of the two.
No, you're very brave because the whole thing about school is shaming people.
I know. I was there.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons, that's where addiction is born. So well done, love. Yeah, thank you for this, and thanks for having the balls to go public. And
well, thank you for your help. I've got a lot of clarity now, and I'm ready to tackle this head on. So great. I really appreciate your time.
It's an absolute pleasure. Lots of love. David checking out my kokorozashi's on fire and foaming at the mouth. So that was fun.
Yeah, checking out with a lot more clarity, and I feel like I've got a can-do attitude now. So I needed this. Thanks, David.
How long is the course, by the way?
2 years. I'm doing it in 2 years.
Okay, so it's a 2-year. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Good luck.
We'll see you on the. How do I close this thing now?
I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah. Cool.